Yeah, we was up there back there with them for
Turnout, just great. It shows the excitement in our town with this morning's activities. We're honored this morning to have with us Congressman Ike Skelton. I can think of no one better that can talk to us about the courage that was needed by these soldiers and what it took to preserve our freedom. So with that, my privilege. Program, so at this time we'll have the national anthem.
Linda called to ask me to do the national anthem, and I've done this hundreds of times. I was trying to calculate on the way over here. I've never done it with service people sitting here staring at me. This is it's one of the most moving songs that we have in our country, so I'm going to try to get through this thing, but I'm not making any promises. On behalf of the Board of Education, on behalf of Lexington R5 School District, we extend our thanks for what you do to help our country and to secure our way of life, and we can never extend enough gratitude for that. So in honor of America and in honor of our returning veterans, not veterans yet, returning soldiers, I will try to do this song, and if it doesn't come out just right, just close your eyes, okay?
Would you please rise?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, that was moving. Nice job.
A few moments ago, you probably saw my wife Susie flinch when he said the national anthem was about to be sung and I was being introduced. The last time I sang was at a high school class reunion. Beverly was there, Alice was there, and it was being taped at that time. And you could see when I was introduced to sing a duet with my old pal Jim O'Malley, Susie putting her face into her hands and shaking her head. So you, Jim Judd, you know, solid job. Thank you so very much. The Lexington News runs an article nearly every issue going back to 60 years, 50 years, 40 years, and those of us that have a little gray in our hair like to read those and see what happened. A lot of it triggers memories. And in the 60-year-ago column. From time to time you will see where young men from our county and Lexington left for the military. And in a year or so you will see that column reflecting the fact that some are coming back after the Second World War. Things don't change that much. Freedom is never free. You've heard that phrase so many, many times. And those that are here today, I know firsthand. I have been to Iraq, different occasions, as well as Afghanistan. And being on the Armed Services Committee, particularly ranking member of the Armed Services Committee, I have really a bird's eye view of what these young folks are doing for our country today. National Guard, Reserve make up 40% of the entire United States Army in Iraq today. And right here is Exhibit A, all reservists or National Guardsmen from our state. I think it's wonderful that so many people turn out to say thank you. And you know, the words thank you are easy to say, but the best thanks that you will get will not be today. The best thanks that you will get will be reflected in the history books that will be written decades from now for the work that you have done for your country. We have two very serious engagements going on at this time. The first is the war against terrorism, which Genesis was in Afghanistan. We did the right thing by knocking over the Taliban government that supported Al-Qaeda, and there's some light at the end of the tunnel there, although it's difficult. We're getting their Afghan army moving in the right direction. Iraq is a different challenge because that is, in many respects, an old-fashioned insurgency. And you know that far better than I, despite the fact that I've been there and I get almost daily briefings on what you're doing. It's a real challenge. And if we are not successful there, it could very well turn into a snake pit that welcomes terrorism from all over the world, and it would work to our great disadvantage as well as the entire free world. What you do is so very, very, very important. And those that are comrades, and some have had some tough luck. Let me tell you about my visit. 2 days before Christmas, I went out to Walter Reed Hospital. I went up into the rehabilitation room where young men and young women were being taught how to use their prostheses, without legs or hands or arms. And most of them, as you can well testify, that were by the IED, the improvised explosion devices. This one young lady, she was a major, in a wheelchair, very happy to learn I was from Missouri, and she was telling me with great pride that she had flown in her helicopter some Missouri National Guardsmen from Jefferson City. And I did all I could to not look down, see where her legs once were. A lot of Americans, and you saw it firsthand, are paying a tremendous price. We have the best military the world has ever seen, and I know the veterans here will say that too. You're good, you're professional, you know your duty, you're volunteers. And there's no way to thank you today. It's like I say, the only real thanks you're going to get is that in the history books, decades ago. But in some small measure, seconds. So many of your Lafayette Countyans turn out here and say, hey, thanks for your job. I hope it means a little bit to you that this is a day of remembrance. I want each one of you to look not at the left sleeve of the veterans here, because that will reflect the fact that they're all 35th Division National Guard. Am I correct? On their right sleeve, which every soldier doesn't have a patch indicating a division or brigade on his or her right sleeve, indicates where they were in a combat zone or involved with combat. And so many of them will have airborne along with that. So take a look and ask them what unit they were with. Not just the left, but the right. That indicates that these folks are very, very special. Well, I wish we had adequate words to express to you. I know what you go through. I've been there. I've seen it. The briefings we get almost every day. I know the hardships, and you're to be thanked. But let me tell you something else. You've got to thank your families. You know, you enlist soldiers, but you re-enlist families. And let's give the families a great, great big hand for support. Well, in a word, we're appreciative of Stephen Ambrose, the author, Undaunted Courage, and Normandy, D-Day. He's gone now. But while he was living, I had an opportunity to have a small breakfast for him in my office. You can find some other members of the Armed Services Committee. Come in and talk to him and learn about some of the books he's written, particularly about what happened in Europe during the Second World War. He was getting ready to leave, and I said, Dr. Ambrose, what is it that makes America so great and so unique? I thought he'd say something about the mixture of the people here in America, and maybe something about the westward movement. He didn't. He said, this is his answer. Look at Russia. Russia has a hardy workforce. Russia has more natural resources than all of North America. But Russia never had a George Washington, a John Adams, a Thomas Jefferson, a James Madison, or the values they established. The values they established, which went very shortly thereafter into the Constitution of the United States. That's what you all reflect the very best of. So thank you for your values. Thank you being Missourians. Thank you being Americans. We're so proud of you. God bless.
Good morning. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Tony Van Bakken. On behalf of the Adjutant General of Missouri, Brigadier General King Sidwell, I want to thank you all for your service to the country, your service to your fellow soldiers, and I want to thank God for bringing you back safely to us. I want to remind you that there'll be soldiers going after you. If you don't know in this room, the 35th Support Command Headquarters has been on alert for Operation Iraqi Freedom. Should be going sometime this fall, Lexington unit. And we're looking forward to these people to share their experience with us so that we too can come back to you safely. I am reminded, of course, that veterans in the back, the experiences that you've had have led to us being where we're at today to make us the outstanding soldiers and the airmen that are over there too, by the way.
This time, we all want to get to know each one of these soldiers and their families better. So at this time, we'll call up one at a time. We'll start with this gentleman to the right, and you can call up your family that's with you, and feel free to talk about any experiences you had in Iraq or whatever you want to talk about. So come forward and welcome, first name, Atkins, Mike Atkins, and please ask your family to come up with you.
I'm Sergeant Atkins from Dover, Missouri. Lived here pretty much since I was like 3 years old. I just want to thank, here's my wife. I just pretty much want to thank everybody in this community. I mean, it's just great. There's no way we could do it without y'all, because takes our mind off of so much stuff back here at home and lets us do our job a lot better. Thanks a lot.
Morning. First name? Tim Hartley. I don't know some of these fellas. Okay, and have your family come up if you like.
My wife Karen, my mom Janice, and my brother Tom. They're here today.
It's Uncle Gerald out there.
Gerald. 15 years ago, back in '91, and I drilled out of Lexington, but I don't have to go with him on this next deployment. We patrolled in Iraq, but the family support group was real good here, and people back in the community, I want to thank them.
Families stand up. There's a lot of people here. That's my in-laws, my mother, Bill and Patty Sonecker. You got Paul and Cheryl Montgomery and Frank Lucy, who's a great inspiration for me as a soldier and as a person too. I love it every time I see him. But I'm from Lexington, Missouri. Lived here since maybe I was 3, 4. But I was raised here, and we were in southern Iraq. Basically, we patrolled all of southern Iraq. I try not to give too much of a speech because I do like talking. But basically, all of southern Iraq was pretty much under some sort of a watch from the 1140th, who we were with. Most of these guys were all Lexington guys, and we had some up north scanning, hunting out the IEDs. I'll let Sergeant Hager explain that, but they had the super risky job too. But we're all proud to be back, and as a Lexingtonian kid, I never thought I'd miss it as much as I did. But it's kind of funny when you're in a certain part of the world how you actually do miss things. And I appreciate everybody coming out and for everything they did for everyone. And I'll end with that.
And you're
If my family would stand up too, please. My dad, Mike, my sister, Maggie, my grandfather, Gene, my grandma, Bev, and my nephew, Kane, Mom, Susie, my Aunt Janice, Uncle Jim, and out there somewhere, I have cousin Eric, Rick and Joni, his mom and dad, and then his little girl, Lily. I was with the 428 Transportation Company out of Jefferson City. We ran convoy security all over Iraq, transporting different units, KBR locals, all over the place, hauling all kinds of stuff. I want to thank the community for their support as well. Thank you very much.
first name? Cole. Cole, yes. Linda, son.
I'm Cole Harris. My family's back in this corner. My in-laws, all the Structemeyers, Keith and Judy and Brandon, Abby. My son Seth's back there with Judy. My mom, Linda Nolting, back in the corner, and my wife Penny is coming up. We live in Higginsville, and I appreciate you guys having this. We appreciate everything everyone's done. It's been unreal the support we've had and the help we've had. I know Penny appreciates everything everyone did. I just want to thank everyone.
Craig? Doug Zeller, okay.
I want my wife to come up here.
I told you not
I
to.
want the rest of the family.
Here.
I think the wives deserve as much attention as we do for your gratitude. I was in Toledo with the Constitution. I went to Baghdad for a couple months. I'm a mechanic, self-support issues. This is really overwhelming, all the support. Thank you.
Scott Wallace and his family.
I'm Scott Wallace. I was born and raised here in Lexington. This is my wife and my son Roy. I got all kinds of family here. You can't shake a stick without hitting them back here. I was with everybody else. I got to agree with all these guys. Family's the biggest thing here. They really held things together for us while we were gone. So, thank you.
Glenn Hager,
wife's right there, Judy. I got family all over here. There's my son, Kenneth, my stepson, Alan, Jenny, my sister-in-law. There's Bob Florence and them, just a whole bunch of them here. I want to thank everybody. Judy, you want to come up here? Family's very important, and it was real nice for y'all to support us. Thank you.
Mother of another soldier who's in New York, Philip Taylor.
He wanted me to tell everybody thanks so much for the support. He had tickets for New York. His girlfriend's on spring break this week, so they went to New York. But he was really sorry he couldn't be here. And his stepdad, my husband Benny's back there getting it all on tape for him. So, and Uncle Aubrey. So Philip was just, sorry he couldn't be here, and says thanks to everybody for all the support. And he's glad to be back, and we are too. Thank you.
The presiding commissioner of Lafayette County, to say that we did expect a crowd, but we did not expect a crowd this large, obviously, so we had to make accommodations to come up in this room. But we appreciate so very much the support that is shown. We're so fortunate to live in a county where the community pulls together like this. There are incidents that happen all the time that show me how the community comes together. Very briefly, I had a neighbor who had 90 bales of round bales caught fire last Sunday. All the farmers around there came together and moved those flaming bales away from his barns. My gosh, that's the kind of support that I see again and again in this county. We are so very fortunate to live here, to have moved here, to have been born here, or to even pass through. In Progressive Farmer magazine this past month, Lafayette County was listed as the 54th best county in this nation to live in. There are thousands and thousands of counties in this nation. That doesn't say anything about county government. It isn't that at all. What it talks about is you and the people who live in this county and the tremendous communities that you have. And we appreciate it so much. And I know that these men sitting on this row truly appreciate your coming today and showing your great support for them, as much as we appreciate what you've done, what you stand for, the example that you've set for our children all the way. Thank you very much.
You guys really draw a crowd, don't you? When you get a little older, the congressman was relating back to World War II. Well, I relate back to the Vietnam era. And I wish we had the good foresight to welcome our soldiers home then that we do now. But at that time we were talking about a domino theory, and more on the native side. This time, folks, we may actually be seeing a domino theory at work. You guys kicked down their first domino, and we may actually see freedom break out in the Middle East, which is just, that would be tremendous. It's been a sore point for a long time.
Thank you, Bill. My father was in World War I. Now, he was very old, of course, when I was born. But anyway, I have his canteen hanging where I can see it every day. And I think of the sacrifices that have been paid before our generation so that we could be here and live in freedom the way we do. We're so very honored. My pleasure now to introduce to you our legislature from this area, Mr. Joe Law. Where do you go?
I'd like to thank the folks of Lafayette County for letting me be a part of the ceremony today, a very special occasion. In my prior life, I was a school administrator. And for 34 years, I had a chance to be a teacher, a coach, a principal, and a superintendent. People would ask me, what means the most to you in your job? And probably one of the things I would say is to see young people that I've had a chance to work with turn out to be good human beings, turn out to be successful. I had a chance to have some of these young men in school, either as a principal or a superintendent, and I knew a lot of the rest of you growing up. Knew Clint used to yell at him when he officiated football a little bit, so I knew him pretty well too. But I had a chance to know you all, and I'm very proud of who you turned out to be and what you've done. And one thing that makes me mad is when I hear people say, kids today are no good. Now, you guys aren't kids anymore, but you were kids not too long ago. And you're a perfect example of today's generation. And I think they've turned out pretty good. And they're probably a lot better than some of the people that are saying kids are no good. So I certainly appreciate what you've done, because you guys laid your life on the line. You laid your life on the line for the people you love and for what you believe in. And I would echo what some others have said, you families. I know you wives, you mothers and fathers, grandparents, kids, aunts and uncles, you've been there too. And you've made a lot of sacrifice. You've been the support base and made it possible for these guys to do what they did. So I'm very proud of you, and Mike, Tim, Derek, Ryan, Cole, Doug, Scott, and Clint. I'm proud of all of you, and thank you for letting me be part of this. And Mrs. Phillips, too.
Mike McGee, also our representative from Lafayette County.
We're honored just to have everybody here today. What a great group to turn out and come out here on a beautiful day. Felita and I went to an unmet needs concert down in Kansas City. I think that was last Friday. It was just great. There was a lot of military men from all over. And it kind of woke us up to the needs of you people when we come back, and the other people that have come back before you, and the unmet needs. And I think that everybody here needs to be aware of that and what they're going to need, even now that they are back. That they need to still maybe need some help, and the other people that are coming back, we need to keep our hearts and minds open to that.
We're also,
Where's my assistant?
Why don't you go ahead and get all of the mayors and representatives.
and we have Mayor Bill Cole, Stacy Roby from Dover. Stacy Roby from Dover. She here? You gentlemen have any comments?
I'd like to say, first of all, I'm very honored to represent Mayor Hayes in the city of Lexington. I thought a lot about what I was going to say, having sort of been in your shoes in the past, but it really pales in comparison to what the Congressman said and what Representative Joe All said. I hearken back to Tom Brokaw, who labeled the World War II generation as the greatest generation. I think we've just written a sequel to it, because I think you represent the greatest generation, part 2.
It's my pleasure to represent the city of Higginsville. We have some Higginsville folks here, and also the county, Lafayette County, has been mentioned, is one of the greatest counties in the United States. And to see these service people come back home, we haven't forgotten them since they departed. We always try to keep them in mind in our prayers, sending care packages, sending phone cards, and we'll have something else to give you today before you depart.
It's my pleasure to be here today to represent the citizens of Odessa and Mayor Tom Murray. I'd just like to say welcome home. I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for your service. I do understand and recognize the tremendous sacrifices of your families. I know how challenging that must have been for them. But I do really, on a personal basis, appreciate your service. And I know the citizens of Odessa appreciate your service. Thank you very much.
Our appreciation from the Chambers of Commerce of Lexington, Higginsville, Odessa, is that correct? Anyway.
We'll hand them to the mayor.
Well, if I call your name, why don't you stand and receive your basket? Staff Sergeant Clint Hager.
First of all, It's not Staff Sergeant. I recognize that. Congratulations on your promotion. And I also understand you were awarded the Bronze Star. Thank you very much for this.
Again, from the citizens of Higginsville and all the merchants and everybody in Lafayette County, welcome.
I want to load you up one more time. Here we go. That's a little gift from the Chamber of Commerce and Businesses of Odessa. Thank you.
Terry.
She's coming.
Hi.
He was.
Again, from the people of Higginsville, Lafayette County, our merchants, Chamber of Commerce, everyone welcomes you back home.
Thank you. Thank you. This is from the Chamber of Commerce and City of Odessa. Welcome home. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And welcome.
Good to meet you. I know your mom and dad quite well. Left one good community for another one, didn't you? That's right. Okay. From the Higginsville folks, welcome home.
You all may have to switch these around later, guys.
Tell him thank you.
Oh, he says thank you from everyone too. Thank you very much.
Don't run away, she's coming. No.
That's the Chamber of Commerce. Welcome.
I think so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cole, it's good to see you back. Cole is one of our paramedics from Higginsville. We've been visiting him for a while. Welcome home, young man.
Thank you.
Welcome home, Timothy, one of the Higginsville boys. Glad to have you back safely from all of us.
Come home. Glad you're back.
I know him by Doug, but that's okay. That's it. Welcome home, Doug.
Thank you.
From all of us down home.
Welcome home. Chamber of Commerce, City of Odessa. Let me put it right up there.
And from the city of Higginsville, the Chamber of Commerce and Merchants, and it's good to meet you. Welcome home.
Welcome home. Thank you, sir. From the Chamber of Commerce, City of Odessa. Thank you.
Small code.
Thank you.
I'm Gil. I appreciate having all these folks here, your family and friends, and I want to thank Congressman Skelton for being here, and our state officials, county officials, and of course our city officials for being here to extend this
welcome home too. And anything we can do here to make, any time to help, feel free to ask us. I do want you to just think, now, let's have all, I don't want to say old veterans. I want to say veterans of the past. Would you stand, or if you're standing, raise your hands. Veterans of the past.